Hey YouTube, so this is going to be a video about how I bought my first house at the age of 25. So I've wanted to make this video for a long time. I just wanted to tell you guys basically how I got to where I am right now. So currently I just moved into my new house. The entire house was afforded through my website, through blogging. So I am extremely thankful for that, and I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how I got to this point in my life, because I watched so many videos where other people were at this point and I always wondered how they got there and was just so impressed with them, and I found it really motivational. So I figured I'd tell you guys how I got here myself. Basically, I did make one video a while back about my entire blogging journey, so you can check that out. I'll link that below. But since that video, I have made a lot of progress. I've made a lot of changes. But ultimately, what got me to where I am today was just focusing on different revenue streams and not just putting, all my eggs in one basket, as people say. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. If you watched my last video, I talk about how I started blogging probably about 9 years ago, which I know sounds like a long time, but it was not legit blogging. I was just posting things for fun on a free WordPress blog, and I didn't make any money off of it. I just liked it, I enjoyed it, and that was pretty much it. And then it was probably towards the very end of university, in my 4th year, when I had to get serious about choosing a career, and I was supposed to become a dietitian, but then I found out I was missing a course that I still needed, so I had to go back to school to do that course, or I could go another route. And for me, at that point in my life, I had started to kind of despise the whole dietitian thing. The only reason I was really following through with it at that point was because my parents wanted me to. I had a really strong background in nutrition. I obviously graduated with a BSc in food nutrition. I competed in bodybuilding before. I have my PN1 precision nutrition course, all that stuff. I've just worked with a lot of people that are very knowledgeable in the nutrition industry, and I've also worked in a supplement store for about 3 years. So basically that seemed like the career for me, but I just didn't love it. So as many of you, I feel like, probably are in the same boat and can relate. When you're going through school for something that you thought you loved, but then partway through you kind of were like, I don't know if this is for me anymore. Trust that gut instinct, honestly. If there's something else you want to do, don't let people tell you what's right for you. I know you hear that all the time, but don't. You know what's best. Trust your instincts, go with what you want to do. So that is what I did. I ended up basically asking my parents, had to ask, to have 1 year to just work on my blog and actually take it seriously and see where I could get with it. Because at that point in time, I was earning a small amount of income from one of my first income streams, which again, I talk about in my other video. So I did that, and they were not very happy about it, but they let me do it. And after that first year, my site took off and I started making a lot of money. A good amount, basically, for someone like my age who was also working another part-time job. So at that point, my parents basically said, you can continue with this, whatever, keep going, you're doing good. So they were excited at that point. I was excited. So I continued to work a part-time job during this whole time for another probably 2 or 3 years with my blog. And I just worked on building it, worked on getting traffic to it. And initially, when I first started making money on it, I just got lucky and I had a lot of viral pins on Pinterest. That was back in the day when Pinterest algorithm was a bit different. So I was doing really well, I was making all kinds of money, but then it got to the point where my income started to go down, because if you know anything about blogging, it's that it's not always consistent. Traffic isn't always consistent, so you just kind of gotta roll with the waves. So at that point, I knew that I needed to do something else to earn an income that was slightly more steady. So I started a cookie business. I started selling what I called kit cookies online. So I would ship them to your door. They were just little packaged keto cookies. I also sold them in mix form, and that did well for a while. It surprisingly took off pretty well. I ended up getting invited to a conference in Toronto to go and sell them, and it was really cool. But then I got to the point where companies were asking me to produce like mass amounts, and I just couldn't. I didn't have the funds to do it. I didn't have the space to do it or the people to help me, and I was still working a part-time job during this and trying to manage my blog. So I decided baking and selling cookies was just not for me. I wanted to live more of a passive lifestyle, and I felt like doing that every day of my life for the rest of my life, like I would just not be happy. So I stopped doing that. I do sell the mixes online still because they weren't as tedious and I'm not selling as much of them, so it's okay for me. But instead of that, I went back to my blog, which I had definitely neglected during that time, so it kind of went downhill in terms of traffic. It was not doing nearly as well, but I basically just started posting consistently every single day. I would post a new recipe. I share my recipes on multiple different platforms, so Instagram, Pinterest, Reddit, and Facebook groups. And Pinterest by far is the #1 source you want to be posting on. So Pinterest really took my blog to like the next level, and then also the Reddit and Facebook groups kind of helps me build a community, so I really enjoyed that part of it. And at that point my views started going up, everything started getting a bit more consistent, but I still wasn't making quite enough to live off of, so I was still working a part-time job. So then I started creating my own products. So basically I started selling little ebooks on my site, so just small ones that people could buy. They were only like 12 pages long. It was just a couple extra dollars every month, and slowly that kind of built over time, and I would sell 1 or 2 a day, and you know, that adds up at the end of the month. So even though it's not a lot, it's a little, and every bit counts. So that was another great way that I made more money. And then also affiliate links, of course, I've been doing that since the beginning. A lot of you know about Amazon affiliates, where you earn commission for linking to their products when someone buys that product. So I continued to do that, and I just worked on how I talked about the products, and I tried to explain them a little bit more, have people trust me more, and I would include the same products in many of my posts so that people get used to like those specific items and know those are the ones I personally use all the time, which I did. I was being honest. Those are the ones I bought, so I would just link to the things that I like. So that helped as well, but then Amazon went and cut their affiliate commissions at one point, so that hurt a little bit. It went from, I think I was earning 3 or 5% to 1%, so that was a huge drop. It took a hit, and that was also when my blog traffic also decided to go back down again. So as you can tell so far, it's a lot of ups and downs. Like nothing is ever completely perfect, but that's kind of like with any job. Like you never really know what's going to happen, especially with what's going on right now. I'm not going to say it. But yeah, so after that happened, I looked into my ads, which was one of my highest income sources, which is Mediavine. Mediavine's the company I work with. And I decided to reorganize my ads a bit. So I turned on certain things I didn't have on before, and I kind of like optimized my ads for my site. I started creating longer content so there'd be more space for ads. Just tried to optimize everything, and that actually made a huge difference. Another thing that made a difference was adding video ads. Totally changed my income, pretty much doubled it overnight. So that was good, and that was in the last I think 4 months ago or so. So obviously that made a big difference, and that is kind of what led me to now being able to buy a house. And the one last other thing that really just put me over the top was when I created my own recipe book. So for years I put it off. I did not want to write a recipe book. I just thought it was too much work and it was scary, and I just didn't want all the publishing stuff that goes with it, and I don't know, I just didn't want to deal with it. But finally I convinced myself, and I told myself I would just sell it as an ebook. So I wouldn't have to print it or anything. I would just sell it on my site as an ebook, and I could also upload it to Amazon if I wanted to. So I spent 1 month creating my book. I don't know how I managed to finish it in 1 month. It was a crazy month. I wrote over 3 recipes every single day and typed them out, and it was just absolute insanity how much I typed that month. I don't think I slept. But I got it done, and when I started selling it, it actually took off. On the first day alone, I made, I think, almost $800 from my book sales on my first day, and this is coming from like nothing, having nothing for that before. That was crazy. So at that point, I had people asking me where my physical copy was, and I was like, oh no. So then I worked on a physical copy, and I actually managed to get it produced quite easily. My dad works in a paper kind of company, so he was able to help me a little bit with getting just a couple copies out to like some friends, and we ended up getting a few more done later on, so I was able to sell some physical copies. And then eventually next year, since it's actually a seasonal book, it's a Christmas keto book, I'm gonna hire someone online that can make them themselves, and then I'm going to sell copies that way. So basically, I just want to say, if you're thinking of creating a product and it sounds really daunting and you don't know where to start, just start and then just kind of like figure it out as you go. I found that's the best way to do anything, so that's what I did. And yeah, so basically my book sales, my ads, my affiliate links, also sponsor content, which I'm trying to do more of. All of that has led me to where I am today and to be able to buy my first house at 25. So that's where I am now. I'm very happy here because now I'm able to film more, I'm able to make my own recipes, and I do have plans for the future. So one of my current goals is to film more YouTube videos like this one. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not very good on camera, but I'm learning slowly. So I hope you guys don't mind some videos. I would love to do videos on Pinterest content and how you can grow your Pinterest, tactics that I use, because I do have 2 million monthly Pinterest viewers, and a lot of those translate into traffic, so I usually get 60 to 70,000 of my monthly viewers just from Pinterest alone, which is awesome. So I'd like to do videos on that. I'd also want to do some videos on maybe some SEO or some affiliate links. Anything you guys want to know about, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to make videos about them now that I do have my own space for recording. I'm also going to be posting lots of recipe videos. That's just one of my next things I wanted to do with my blog, because I've had so many requests for video format, and I do have some videos on my site, but people wanted them for YouTube. So that is my next goal. But yeah, that's pretty much how I was able to afford the house I'm in now and become pretty much financially stable at the age of 25, which is pretty cool to say. And this is after multiple people told me to stay in school and go through with that, and they questioned what I was doing, and no, it just feels good to be like, it worked out, like it was what I was meant to do, and I knew it all along. So I think if you feel like there's something out there for you that's better, and there's something you're just really passionate about, like just do it and just start. Don't be scared to start. Just start doing small steps every single day. Like my blog took a long time to grow, but I mean, it was worth it, and every day mattered, whether I knew it or not. So yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, if there's a goal you want to achieve, just go for it. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here, but like I said, let me know if you want tips on blogging or Pinterest or any of those things, because I am now here to post lots of videos, and I cannot wait to help you guys achieve your goals and, you know, maybe get to the same place that I'm at or even further along. So yeah. Anyways, have a great day, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.